What's up, guys, and welcome back to another Terror Than StarCraft. Today I got a great PvT ready for y'all. Spawning in as the blue Protoss player from the team Complexity, we have Killer. And spawning in as the red Terran player from Team Liquid, we have Taeja. And so both players are spawning in on Metropolis, one of the biggest maps today, but was currently, unfortunately, was taken out of the Blizzard map pool because of a frame rate issue. But I mean, it's still one of my favorite maps. I really like how big it is. It's very Brood War-esque. It's the best way to put it. And I mean, it just so many good macro games have happened on this so far, and hopefully this will also be a great macro game on its own. And I mean, TVP is, I think, from what I've heard so far, a lot of people's favorite matchup just because it's so action-packed. There's so much that goes on, and I mean, both these players are extremely good. Killer and Taeja are actually. Killer was a GSL player. I do not believe he's currently in it. And Taeja, Code S player, actually moved on, beating Marine King, which was a huge shocker. Oh yeah, if y'all didn't know that, spoiler alert, yeah, Taeja's actually really good. And yeah, we actually see a fast gas coming from Taeja actually, so might see a 1-1-1 coming into this. Still very good, very viable thing to use against Protoss. Actually, it's still one of the oldest builds that Terran players use. And I mean, it's always been a viable build. It's very nice, good, fast teching coming out of it. Looks like a little pro press is going to come here, trying to get the worker that is on the barracks. But Taeja will have none of that. Gonna keep that probe out of it. Gonna knock that probe away from that SCV. Alright, just gonna try and keep it out of the base. The Marine is being produced, and it looks like Taeja is gonna go for that scout. We see the supply depot is gonna come at the ramp. Probably see a wall with 3 supply depots coming up in a little bit. Oh, pylon blocking the add-on the barracks. Very nice by Killer. I don't know if that's really going to slow Taeja down that much, especially if you 1-1-1s out of this. Let's see in a second. And here we go. We do see that SCV is being pulled. And what do we see? We see a factory. So we are going to see a 1-1-1 out of Taeja, especially if the second gas is going to be taken. As usually a good sign that we're going to be seeing Cloak Banshees out of this. And let's wait around just for a second before we go back up to Killer's base. And there it is. We will be seeing Cloak Banshee follow up to this. And I believe that pylon sees nothing. No, it does not. So we go up to Taeja's base, and this is really looking like it's going to be a 1-gate fast expand, which could or could not be good for Taeja. And you're probably sitting there thinking, Terran, how can you say that? How can this be good or not good? Well, it can be good for Taeja in the fact that Killer does not throw down the robotics bay and does not get ops. Cloak Banshees will completely decimate, like, wreck. Well, that didn't come out right. Will wreck Killer's mineral line, and it will just be so good for Taeja. He might actually be able to end the game with it. But it could not be a good thing in the fact that Taeja gets a very quick robo bay. He gets the observer out. He's prepared for it. And literally, he kills off the Banshee very quickly. No damage is done to make it pay for itself. And it's just like, well, you've been up a base, and I've just started my base now. So, dang. Like, that's really the mindset with the 1-1-1 right now. Either it works and you're in a pretty good lead, it kind of works. Like, you do some damage, you don't really pay off your Banshee. I mean, it keeps the Protoss player on his toes. Or it doesn't work at all, and you pretty much just lose the game because the Protoss players go roll face. So we do see 3 gates are on its way from Killer. We'll probably follow this up with a Robo Bay very quickly. It's 3-gate Robo. I mean, that's a very common thing to do with this. I mean, I would see no reason why Killer doesn't throw down the Robotics Bay, unless he was going like Stargate or something. We do see the Robotics Bay is just thrown down, so this will be good for Killer. He will get a faster route because Cloak Banshee is coming. And we'll probably see the, yep, right there, expansion of Taeja coming down. But the expansion of Killer just finishes. And we see a small little move out of Marines. They're going to try to clean up all the stray units of Killer around the map and make sure that the Banshee does not get spotted. He wants to keep that element of surprise going on. And here comes the first Banshee coming out. Here comes a probe, but oh, is that probe going to see? That probe is going to see the Banshee. That's just enough what Killer needs to sit there and start warping in. So it's warping in so many stalkers. He knows, okay, this is not good if I don't react to it fast enough. And Observer on the way with a Chrono Boost. That thing will be coming out extremely quickly. It looks like Taeja will wait for Cloak to finish before he comes in, but these stalkers are ready. And we'll have to see if Taeja's going to be able to micro well enough to do some damage here. Here we come, the Cloak instantly happening because he does not want to take some shots from those stalkers. But the Observer is going to be coming out in a second. We now have 2 kills right now, 2 worker kills. We'll see if there's a third. There will be a third. Giving it 4 worker kills so far because of the 1 scouting probe that was right here that he killed, and that still really hasn't paid for the Banshee. But I mean, that's still pretty nice. And also, Killer now has to, he can't really leave his base right now. He has to stay in. He can't let too many Banshees come in, especially since there are 2 currently on the field and a third one in production. It looks like Killer Taeja might get the Sentry. That will be huge. Sentry's cost so much gas, and well, one of the Banshees has paid for itself now with one of those, killing one of the Sentries and the 4 workers. That one is extremely injured though, so he should send it back. We see Killer's Observer is coming in and actually does spot the 3rd Banshee, but you're sitting there thinking, oh wait, Terradin, no, he sent his Observer down to the base. It's like, no, it's cool, he has the 2nd one. I mean, usually, that's just standard practice how most Protoss players. You make a 2nd one, you're safe, you're good, you're happy, you don't have to deal with Banshees that much anymore. Know that there is 2 do a lot of damage. The 3rd one's kind of staying here, and it's now kind of come down. Gonna get repaired, and we see some siege tanks coming out. I like that. Siege tanks are really good against Protoss. I mean, mixed with Bio Forces, of course. You don't want too many siege tanks because Zealots can overrun them quite easily once they get charged. But still, like, siege mode in general for siege tanks are so good against Warpgate units. No Colossus are gonna tear them apart. Morals tear them apart, which we do have a moral on the field that 50 damage against armor. The robotic support bay is almost done, which we'll start seeing Colossus come out of Killer. So we are not going to see the Startail parting style of doing a lot of High Templar, a lot of Archon, a lot of charge lots, which I actually am a complete fan of. But still, I mean, to each his own. We do see a very quick 3rd out of Killer. Not, once again, not a Startail parting 3rd, but still very quick for this matchup. And Double Forge is done for Killer. He will start working on 1-1. While, let's see, where's Taeja's Engineering Bay? Taeja's Engineering Bay has been working on +1 for a little bit. Stim is on its way. I've rather seen combat shields come out first, just because it gives the Marines that little bit extra kick. I guess is a good way of putting it. Gives them an extra 10 hit points, which is very nice because all the units here do Protoss do a lot of damage. So it would really it changes 5 shots, I believe, right now from Stalker into 6, which is really good for really what Taeja kind of needs right now, especially going Marine, Siege Tank, Raven, which is awesome, and wherever. Oh, there's the. Oh wow. 9 damage done. A couple of Stalkers going down. Looks like all the probes were full. See, there was an extra probe killed in this engagement. I was talking too much. I apologize. And it looks like the Observer is coming in, and 1 Banshee is sniped, the very weak one, and another one's brought down into the red. Hopefully, will be taken back to be repaired. And I actually do want to note the Observer out here for Killer is very well placed because this is a common drop route for Terran players. So he will know if any drops come in. He is holding all of the watchtowers, has another Observer right here to watch if anything flies out of his base this way. And you see the Raven is nicely put. Looks like the Observer did have a little bit of trouble earlier, but we are going to see some Vikings still going to start being produced out. Are there any medevacs out yet? No medevacs. You usually see medevacs before Vikings. I know he did see the Colossus. Taeja did see the Colossus, which is a huge thing. And this Stalker is going to probably win against these 2 Marines. Yep, will win. Clean that up. Now the Observer looks like it suicided itself into the Vikings, which is not good. And both players finished up cleaning up the rocks. And Taeja's going to take his third. He needs to play catch up though, because Killer's been on his third for a very long time. We do see the fourth of Taeja is actually being built. Most likely will be flown over here. It would be cool to see an island base being taken, but I mean, you still just don't see that often. And it looks like a little bit of air balance. Why am I saying air balance? Looks like the Vikings are gonna help the Banshees out by coming in here, sniping off the observers with the Raven. Probably see a PDF could be dropped, so the stalkers become completely useless in that small little area. And we actually see a push out from Taeja here. This will be really good because actually, like, Killer just took away all of his detection over here. And will Killer see this army? Yes, he does. Very nice, good for him. But here we come with the Banshees coming in. PDF was dropped, pushing back those stalkers. Looks like they'll get some more probe kills. But the cannons are in the middle line, which is a very nice thing. Will deny the Banshees from getting any closer to the probes, so those probes are going to be safe right there, especially since cannons can actually detect farther than they can shoot, which is great for Killer. He doesn't have to make as many observers now. And let's see, looks like Killer might be getting ready to take his fourth. We do see that the orbital command is on its way. Once that finishes, it will be flown over here. Or over here maybe, hopefully. Or maybe even over here. Or I can just say every single spot on the map just because I'm trying to fill time. Oh. Anyways, Killer is waiting for his fourth, maybe? Well, we do see the Ghost Academy is on its way, so we'll be seeing Ghost play very quickly, which are good because it looks like the High Templar are finally out in the field. Sidestorm is already researched, which is huge against the bio units of Terran players, but still, I mean, I'm surprised that Taeja does not have that many medevacs at all. And why are these tanks just kind of going over here? I mean, this will be good. It will scout the Nexus that's being built, but kind of just suicide the tanks. I know it's probably just for freeing up supply so he can get more bio units out, but still, it's like those were actually pretty useful, man. At least use them in one engagement, then they get cleaned up. But we do see that Killer is moving out. It looks like a little bit of engagement will be happening here. More medevacs are finally on the field. A lot of the bio is going to be cleaned up. Charge is finished. To make these, it's so much deadly. Nice splitting by Taeja, but still, like, this is just such a huge army. Sidestorm is coming down, putting a lot of these bio units in the red. All nice feedbacks by Killer, taking out all the energy. These medevacs cannot heal anymore. And literally, this Protoss army is looking good. Oh, but here's the reinforcements of Taeja going to come back up here and just start pushing Killer back. And Colossus is so close to dying. One more volley and the Kingdom will go down, and it does. Looks like Killer is going to stack a few units so the rest of his can get away. And actually, even the Observer was taken out in that engagement. This was very good handling by Taeja. Actually, 3-2 is on the way for Taeja. While 3-3, yes, 3-3 is on the way. Warp Prism speed coming out for Killer. Even though that is a very smart thing, I mean, Warp Prism harass is always pretty good, but still, I mean, he has one Robo Bay, from what I know. He has that Robo Bay. He does not need to stop Colossus production to get the Warp Prism out. He needs to keep on getting Colossus. That should all be in his mind. So here we come with a draw. Gonna come over here and start cleaning up any potential thought of being this fifth. And looks like Killer is going to try working. Oh, nice snipe on that pylon, canceling so many zealots from being warped in. This blink is finished, so these stalkers will be able to kill off one medevac full of units. Will get this other one, and nice blink, and they do. Wow, all that drop was cleaned up, but the one medevac, and that medevac is extremely low in health. It is lucky to be alive. I mean, he's still continuing Viking production. What is he doing? There's one Colossus on field. Two. He needs medevacs. He has one medevac, two medevacs, one that's almost dead and has very little energy. I don't know what he's doing. And let's see, we do see a move out of Killer coming over here. And maybe they're going to be in the middle, possibly. But nope, looks like they both decided not to. Nice blink up, trying to kill that Viking, but it did not happen. There was a Warp Prism made, or being made there. It is still being made. And that we'll probably see some side storm drops going on to try and protect this High Templar from Ghost EMP, because Ghosts are on the field if y'all have not noticed yet. And Cloak is actually on the way for the Ghost. That is pretty big, especially since I have not seen an Observer out with this, with Killer's army, and that, I mean, a couple of Cloak Ghosts could be so huge. Do a lot of damage. And it looks like, oh, some Zealots coming over and attacking the force. Taeja to kill off the gases before they get cleaned up. They might actually take out a few of the bio units. Maybe, yes, they do. And looks like all the probes kind of came over to the PDF that's over here, though. Oh, here comes the Warp Prism coming over here, but the gate looks like there is going to be an engagement coming up. But the Warp Prism, oh, I don't know which one to watch because they're both going to be epic. Looks like the Warp Prism has stopped for a brief amount of time, so we will follow the armies and see what happens. Another Zealot is cleaned up. And looks like Killer's going to spread his units so they don't get EMP'd as much. And it looks like the Warp Prism is going to come down now. This is a planetary fortress, so those High Templars will get hurt. But, oh, nice side storms gained a lot of the mules and the workers. It looks like all of them were cleaned up, only losing one High Templar. That is really good. And it looks like Taeja is just going to go on and move up into the main of Killer, putting his Vikings over to the side. A nice little position, hard to get bleeped under by. And here we come, a couple of ghosts coming out, all getting feedback very quickly because of that observer that is up there, but it is spotted. They actually didn't get hit by EMP, so it is visible. The Stalkers are blinking underneath the Vikings. All the Vikings are being taken out, but almost all the clusters are going to go down. Nice concave by Taeja. Zealots cannot get us around, and they all die before they get close. All the Stalkers and the clusters are currently cleaned up. We see one Stalker is coming back over. Even though he only has a few medevacs, this Bioforce is so deadly. We do see another Colossus that's coming up, but even well micro that it's going to go down even eventually because there is still Vikings on the field. And there it goes, it is dropped. Natural of Killer is going to be going down. There's no way Killer can recover from this. He will be going down. Oh wow, that was wicked Artosis pylon right there. And there's the GG from Killer, giving the game to Taeja in a very impressive style. Very well handled by Taeja. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it like always, and I will see you guys next time.